Henyard says she is endorsing a new board, but not announcing who they are just yet, instead promising to name them later this month. Henyard is under investigation by the FBI.
Now she's teasing a big announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents.
The $50 admission fee for Mayor Tiffany Henyard's re-election event in Dalton, Illinois, has sparked significant debate, especially in light of the ongoing controversy surrounding her administration. The mayor's tenure has been marred by allegations of voter suppression, questionable appointments, and financial mismanagement, which have created a turbulent political environment in the town. The steep cost of attending her re-election party has added another layer to this debate, raising important questions about the nature of political fundraising strategy and its potential impact on Dalton's future. For many, the $50 price tag fosters an image of exclusivity, drawing attention to the disparity between the mayor's supporters and those who may not be able to afford such a steep fee. Critics argue that this approach serves more as a measure of loyalty from her base than a genuine effort to engage with the broader public. Some contend that the event is less about garnering widespread support and more about appeasing those who already align with her administration, reinforcing a divide in the community. Henyard's supporters, however, view the event as a testament to her resilience and political savvy. They argue that her ability to organize a high-profile event and raise substantial funds, despite the ongoing scrutiny, reflects her strength as a leader. They see the re-election party not as a desperate move, but as evidence of her durability and her capacity to rally loyal backers, even under intense political pressure. On the other hand, critics of the mayor's administration see the high admission fee as a reflection of deeper issues. The price point could alienate those who are struggling financially, especially in a community already grappling with socioeconomic challenges, rising crime, and unstable governance. For some residents, the idea of paying to support a controversial figure like Henyard in a time of economic difficulty seems irresponsible, and it raises concerns about the inclusivity of her campaign. The event, in their view, appears more like a spectacle designed to showcase her control over her base rather than an earnest attempt to unite the town. The controversy surrounding Henyard's leadership and the cost of her re-election party highlights the broader issues facing Dalton. The ongoing tension between supporters and detractors paints a picture of a community deeply divided, with little common ground between those who view the mayor as a champion of local interests and those who believe her administration has failed to address critical issues. The event has become a symbol of the polarization that defines her tenure, with opponents accusing her of prioritizing personal power over the well-being of the community. In the face of these challenges, the mayor's re-election strategy, centered around high-profile events and fundraising efforts, continues to raise important questions about Dalton's future. While Henyard's supporters may see her actions as a demonstration of political skill, others worry that such tactics do little to heal the deep divides within the town. As the re-election event unfolds and the money continues to pour in, the larger question remains: will this move solidify Henyard's position and strengthen her support, or will it expose her weaknesses as a leader in a community that is desperately seeking stability and unity ultimately? The debate over the cost of the re-election party underscores the broader concerns about leadership, governance, and the long-term viability of Henyard's administration. While some may view her fundraising success as a sign of strength, others see it as a reflection of an administration more focused on spectacle than on solving the pressing issues facing Dalton. The high admission price serves as a powerful reminder of the challenges the town faces and the difficult choices that lie ahead for its residents as they weigh the future of their leadership.
2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of...
Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, a small town located just south of Chicago with a population of around 20,000, has come under intense scrutiny since assuming office in 2021. Her administration has been besieged by allegations of financial mismanagement, corruption, abuse of power, and an authoritarian approach to dealing with political opposition. Critics, including former allies, claim that she has used her position to manipulate local police forces and exploit public resources for personal gain. This has caused significant unrest in Dalton, which is already grappling with severe financial instability. Accusations against Henyard include diverting town funds to support her personal ventures and engaging in questionable financial practices. The town, already facing a deteriorating financial situation, has been further destabilized by these actions, raising serious concerns about Henyard's ability to prioritize the needs of her constituents. Many believe her leadership style has exacerbated Dalton's problems rather than addressing the town's basic needs. The public's dissatisfaction has grown as the mayor's actions increasingly appear self-serving, with her critics pointing to wasteful spending and a lack of transparency. Despite these mounting allegations, Henyard remains determined to continue with her re-election campaign, which some view as an act of defiance against her critics, while others see it as a bold, perhaps reckless, attempt to hold on to power. She has dismissed calls for accountability, and many residents perceive her decision to move forward with her campaign as tone-deaf and disconnected from the reality of the challenges the town is facing. Critics argue that Henyard's continued push for re-election is less about addressing the pressing issues at hand and more about maintaining her political grip. Public sentiment has soured as the town's financial situation worsens and the pace of meaningful progress slows. What some see as Henyard's unwavering resolve is viewed by others as an act of arrogance, as she seems indifferent to the growing dissatisfaction among Dalton residents. While supporters praise her resilience in the face of political turmoil, detractors argue that her behavior has only served to deepen the divisions in the town, leading to an increasingly polarized political climate. Henyard's leadership has created a sharp divide, with some staunch supporters praising her determination and others decrying her leadership as ineffective and out of touch with the community's needs. The ongoing political drama surrounding her administration has ignited a heated debate about governance and accountability, with residents questioning the mayor's priorities and competence. The mayor's decision to seek re-election has become a flashpoint in Dalton's political landscape. For some, her re-election campaign represents an opportunity for voters to hold her accountable for what they see as years of mismanagement and neglect. For others, it is a sign that Henyard is unwilling to face the consequences of her actions, and that she remains focused on her own political survival rather than the future of Dalton. As the town braces for the upcoming election, the stakes have never been higher. The future of Dalton hangs in the balance, and the outcome of Henyard's re-election bid could have long-lasting consequences for the community. For many, the election will not just be a political contest, but a defining moment in the town's history, one that will determine whether Dalton can recover from the turmoil of the past few years or whether it will continue to be mired in dysfunction and division. As the battle for control of Dalton intensifies, the town's residents will have to decide whether Henyard's leadership, despite its flaws, is worth another chance, or whether it's time for new leadership to chart a different course.
Meeting because business has not gotten done at 2 previous meetings, so that's some progress there for this meeting.
Since Tiffany Henyard's election as mayor of Dalton in 2021, the small town, home to around 20,000 residents just south of Chicago, has found itself embroiled in a political drama marked by scandal, intrigue, and accusations that rival any primetime soap opera. Henyard's leadership has sparked widespread criticism, particularly concerning allegations of financial mismanagement, corruption, and the abuse of authority. Her administration has been accused of using the local police force to intimidate political opponents, and residents have raised alarms about her handling of public funds amid the town's already dire financial situation. The controversy surrounding Henyard's tenure has only deepened Dalton's struggles, leaving the town further destabilized and divided. Critics argue that Henyard's leadership has been characterized by a recurring pattern of wasteful spending, with claims that public money has been misallocated or used to serve her personal interests. These accusations have raised serious questions about her priorities and whether she is truly committed to improving the community, as many believe her financial practices only contribute to Dalton's continued deterioration. In a town already grappling with economic hardships, the administration's failure to prioritize residents' needs has fueled growing frustration among Dalton's population. As the scandal continues to unfold, former supporters of Henyard have joined the chorus of critics, voicing their concern that her administration is more focused on personal agendas than on serving the public. These critics point to a lack of transparency in the handling of town finances and the apparent disregard for the needs of Dalton citizens. Henyard's decisions, they argue, reflect a pattern of self-interest rather than responsible governance, leaving many wondering if she is fit to lead a town on the brink of financial collapse. Despite the mounting opposition, Henyard remains resolute in her decision to seek re-election, refusing to bow to the pressure. For some, this move is seen as an act of defiance, a show of strength in the face of mounting criticism. Others interpret it as an audacious display of confidence, a belief that her leadership is capable of overcoming the challenges her administration has faced. However, many Dalton residents view Henyard's recent announcement of her re-election launch party as tone-deaf and disconnected from the urgent issues the town faces. Instead of addressing the pressing concerns of her constituents, her public displays of confidence have come across as out of touch with the growing sense of neglect and frustration within the community. Dalton has experienced significant turmoil under Henyard's leadership, with residents increasingly calling her out for exacerbating rather than alleviating the town's difficulties. Her tenure has turned her into a divisive figure, with supporters praising her perseverance and determination to navigate political strife, while detractors argue that her continued defiance is a sign of contempt rather than courage. To many, her refusal to address criticism, whether from the public or from her peers, suggests that her administration is more concerned with political showmanship than with addressing the real, pressing issues facing Dalton. The decision to run for re-election has only further intensified the division within the town. For some, it is a clear indication that Henyard's administration is unwilling to confront its shortcomings or learn from its mistakes. For others, it represents a steadfast determination to succeed despite the challenges, with Henyard framing her bid for re-election as a chance to reaffirm her commitment to the town's future, even in the face of adversity. At a time when Dalton is grappling with some of its most significant challenges, Henyard's decision to push forward with her re-election campaign forces the town to confront difficult questions about governance, accountability, and the future of the community. The outcome of this political contest is likely to have lasting implications for Dalton's future, with the town standing at a crossroads that will shape its trajectory for years to come. For Henyard's supporters, the re-election represents an opportunity to reaffirm their belief in her leadership, while for her opponents, it is a chance to hold her accountable for what they see as poor governance and a failure to put the town's needs first. As tensions continue to rise, Dalton's residents must decide whether they believe Henyard's confidence in the face of mounting criticism is a sign of resilience or whether it is further evidence of her inability to address the town's challenges. The scandal surrounding Henyard's tenure has thrust Dalton into the spotlight, forcing residents to reckon with the state of their leadership and the future of their community. As the political landscape shifts and the re-election campaign unfolds, Dalton's residents face a crucial decision: whether to embrace Henyard's bold vision for the future or to chart a new course in the hope of a better tomorrow. At this pivotal moment in the town's history, the stakes couldn't be higher.
In many weeks, Dalton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting.
Amid mounting controversies and a federal investigation into alleged financial misconduct, Mayor Tiffany Henyard remains steadfast in her pursuit of re-election despite growing community discontent. Her decision to propose a wage ordinance that would reduce the salary of her potential successor should she lose has further fueled public skepticism about her motives and commitment to the town. The move has raised serious concerns among residents, who are increasingly questioning her priorities as the town faces economic challenges and legal turmoil. Henyard's recent Facebook Live broadcast, lasting nearly 90 minutes, offered little in terms of tangible evidence to address the allegations against her. Instead, she embarked on a lengthy tirade, blaming her opponents for the town's problems without substantiating her claims or addressing the core issues of financial mismanagement and abuse of power. This defensive posture has done little to quell the growing frustrations of residents, many of whom are calling for greater accountability and transparency from their leadership. The federal investigation reportedly focuses on claims that Henyard misused taxpayer funds for personal expenses, as well as her financial practices in Dalton and Thornton Township, where she also serves as a supervisor. These allegations have only deepened public distrust, with residents expressing their dissatisfaction at public meetings and demanding more from their leaders. Among the voices calling for change is Chas, a member of the local cleaning staff, who has been particularly vocal about the need for governance reforms and transparency. As the community's discontent grows, Henyard's decision to press forward with her re-election campaign appears increasingly disconnected from the concerns of Dalton residents. Many see her refusal to engage in substantive discussions or provide real answers as an attempt to deflect responsibility. This sentiment was made clear when a resident bluntly asked during a meeting, "This is an embarrassment to you. Why won't you step down?" Such pointed questions reflect the deepening frustration with Henyard's leadership and her continued pursuit of power despite the scandals that have surrounded her. The challenges facing Henyard extend beyond political controversy. According to her landlord, Jenga, Henyard is facing eviction for failing to pay rent since August, with arrears amounting to thousands of dollars. Adding to the complexity of her situation is a legal dispute involving Henyard's friend Paul, who has reportedly been unable to serve Henyard with eviction papers due to her avoidance. This personal crisis comes at a time when Henyard is under investigation for alleged financial misconduct, further complicating her already precarious position. Henyard's public defiance has also sparked concerns about her leadership style, with critics accusing her of using public funds for personal gain. Allegations of extravagant spending, such as a $443,000 Amazon shopping spree and lavish dining and entertainment expenses, have only fueled skepticism about her priorities. Robert Collins, the former Dalton police chief who was fired by Henyard, has claimed that she used police officers as personal security guards and even assigned them to run personal errands for her, including picking her up from school or accompanying her on shopping trips. These claims highlight a troubling pattern of misusing public resources for private benefit, further eroding trust in her administration. In addition to the controversy surrounding her finances, Henyard's campaign for re-election has drawn criticism for its $50 admission fee to her launch event. Many residents see this as an insensitive move, given the financial struggles faced by the community. The optics of a lavish campaign event amid growing financial instability only add to the perception that Henyard is out of touch with the needs of the town. Her supporters defend her as a strong, decisive leader who is being unfairly targeted by political adversaries. But the contrast between her campaign's portrayal of success and the town's actual economic struggles is stark. As Henyard pushes forward with her re-election bid, the growing divide between her administration and the people she is meant to serve is becoming increasingly apparent. Allegations of financial misconduct, abuse of power, and questionable leadership have tarnished her reputation and fueled widespread discontent. With the stakes higher than ever, Henyard faces a critical crossroads that will determine not only her political future, but also the future of Dalton itself. The community, increasingly disillusioned by her leadership, must decide whether to continue down the path of division and dysfunction, or choose a new direction that prioritizes transparency, accountability, and the needs of the people. The mounting scandals surrounding Henyard's tenure as mayor of Dalton paint a picture of leadership under siege, with personal and professional crises threatening to derail her political ambitions. The ongoing federal investigation, allegations of misusing public funds, and growing calls for her resignation all point to a leadership style marked by force, intimidation, and a lack of transparency. As Henyard's re-election campaign continues, the community is left to grapple with the question of whether she is truly committed to the town's future or whether her actions have irreparably damaged her ability to lead.